How you doing, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to MechWarrior Online with Scout. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this mech right here, the Loki, or as some of you probably know it better, the Hellbringer. Now, why are we taking a look at the Hellbringer at this point? Like, it's been out for ages, everybody's pretty familiar with it. Well, that's true, but as you guys know, I really like to try to make builds and mechs that are inspired by the source material. So I wanted to take a look at the Prime variant and see if I could make this thing run the way it was depicted in some of the source material, which is not going to be easy because if you're familiar with the Loki or the Hellbringer at all, you will know that in its stock Prime configuration, it is not a very strong mech. But I wanted to try it because if you're familiar with the source material for the Hellbringer or the Loki at all, you'll know that it is in fact inspired by my favorite mech, the Warhammer. And that might seem a little hard to believe given kind of what a stinker really the Prime mech is in its stock configuration, but you can see it if you look even here. PGI has changed the art a little bit. These used to be hexagonal barrels here. All the original clan artwork was. They've changed that to make it a look different and a little more realistic. But as you look across it, look, dual PPCs mounted or backed up, I should say, by a battery of support weapons mounted in the torso here. You would have a spotlight up here and an SRM-6 launcher up here on the right torso. What does that look like? Exactly. It's a Warhammer. This is the updated clan Omni version of the Warhammer. So that's one of the reasons I've always kind of been drawn to the mech, but I've never ever played it in tabletop and didn't play it in MWO for a long time. So that was my challenge to myself. Can I make this thing run the way I picture it in my mind, and the way the source material describes it, which their stories of this thing taking on like 2 heavy mechs and taking them both down, and there ain't no way. That's never going to happen. So as usual, I'll show you guys in the mech lab just a minute the build. Real briefly, we'll go over it, and then we'll jump straight into some gameplay with my take on an actual semi-competitive, workable Prime variant of the Loki. So diving into the mech lab, you can see that we don't have a lot of tonnage to work with because we do have a larger engine than you would typically have in a heavy mech, and because, pain of my soul, this thing doesn't even have ferrofibrous armor, let alone endosteel. It's all flat. You don't have a lot of tonnage to work with. So what I chose to do is I concentrated on the things that really define the Warhammer, and therefore were kind of the defining factors in the original build of the Hellbringer Prime, that dual PPC armament backed up by a battery of lasers in the torso and an SRM-6. In this case, I don't even have Artemis just because I couldn't really spare the tonnage because of the lack of endosteel or ferrofibrous. Now, you will know one interesting thing that I did is I went away from ER medium lasers and I actually went with 3 clan heavy medium lasers. Why did I do that? And that's because the range of the ER mediums just didn't justify the fact that they don't do enough damage for the heat that they're incurring in this particular build. The ERPPCs are already hot, so when you try to fire the medium lasers on top of it, you're going to start getting warm. And it's not that that's a bad thing, it's just that if I'm going to do that, I want to be doing as much damage as possible for the heat that I'm causing myself. So I went ahead and went with the heavy medium lasers, plus I only had the 3 slots to deal with, so I wanted the most damaging weapons I could find, and those are obviously the clan heavy medium lasers. I ditched all the other crazy things that were in the mech, the active prode, all that, but I did keep the ECM because that's kind of the defining factor of the Loki or the Hellbringer, is having that clan ECM module in there. But I had to get rid of everything else to make enough tonnage to put in the heat sinks. I do only carry 1 ton of ammunition, but I've got the ammunition skills to kind of increase that by 20%, I believe is the exact math. So it works out. And then all the tonnage that was left over went to armor, which was the massive, massive weak point of this mech. Is it just did not have enough armor. It's armored like a, well, going back to the tabletop, it's armored like a 30, 40 ton mech, which is just not going to cut it even in tabletop, let alone here in MechWarrior Online. So what I've done is I've maximized the armor, and for me this works. I'm actually able to make this work fairly well in the QuickPlay queue. Now, I do not recommend you try to compete with this in faction play or anything, But if you just want to have fun in quick play and drive something that feels the way a Hellbringer or a Loki should have felt, I think this will really scratch your itch. Now, if this doesn't quite do it for you because it is a little bit warm, don't let that 1.33 heat management fool you. Feel free to make some minor adjustments. One thing you could do is you could go to large pulse lasers in each arm, and then you would still have that dual main armament in the arm kind of feel, but it would be significantly cooler than the ER PPCs. Another thing you could do is you could go with dual clan ER large lasers in the arms as your main weapons, and then that would give you a couple of tons left over. You could put more heat sinks in, or you could fiddle with a little here and there, and you could even shave a little bit of armor off the legs if you wanted to fiddle with that. Just some ideas, but this is the base that I've settled on, and I'm really happy with it, and I think you guys will be surprised with how well it does. Now, I will give you guys a quick look at the skill tree just so you can see how I've set it up. You can see that I put a lot of my points in firepower. I concentrated on laser duration because those heavy medium lasers do have a very long laser burn time. And then everywhere else I was just looking purely at heat generation. I did try to build in originally in the first kind of go around some cooldown and some velocities for the PPCs, but I found that there were so many other places that needed points that I just couldn't do that, so I had to go back and change some things. I did throw in 14 points into the survivability tree, mostly going down the left side, and I'm trying to pick up armor hardening there because, again, this thing will need as much armor as it can get. And then I went straight into the operations tree, and I've gone for max cool run and max heat containment because, as we touched on in the build, this thing does get warm if you really start trading hard with it. I did, of course, throw both the points in the enhanced ECM systems because, again, if I can't iterate this enough, if you have ECM on your mech and you're not dedicating the 13 points to pick up both ECM systems upgrades here and here, it's kind of a waste of your ECM. You need to go ahead and pick those up, even though it sucks because I know, trust me, I would have rather had those other 13 points somewhere else, but you need to go ahead and do that. And then last but not least, my standard 6 points here in auxiliary for 2 cool shots and an artillery strike. So that's it, guys, for the build and for the skills. It's really kind of interesting. Let's dive into the gameplay and I'll show you guys how this thing shakes out.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Alright, so we got Grim Plexus, which is nice because we'll get a few minutes to talk about, you guys know what's coming, the history, a little bit of history behind the Hellbringer, aka the Loki. So, the Loki was actually developed by Clan Hell's Horses after the Battle of Tokasha in 2926. It rapidly spread to the other clans for 2 real reasons, kind of funny. Clan Hell's Horses promptly lost the primary production facility, and then on top of that, they used the mechs that they had as trade items to curry favor with other clans. So it spread pretty rapidly. It was notable. They produced several mechs in that time period. This was the only one that succeeded, and it was notable because it dedicated fully 43%. The weight of the mech is actually dedicated to pod space, so it has tremendous offensive potential. But unfortunately, as we all know, it's only got 8 tons of armor, so yeah, it is definitely not the most durable heavy mech in the world.
Target spotted.
Let's see what we got here. I lost lock. But still in all, its offensive capability made it really popular among surprise go figure Clan Jade Falcon. And the Clan Coyote actually had a saying. They said if you see a Falcon not in a Summoner, Hellbringer, or Kit Fox, double your caution. Goes to show you the taste of the Jade Falcons and mechs. But yeah, it was really popular in their Tamans. And it actually got the name Loki, you would think, in the Rosselhog invasion corridor, where they have a real kind of Norse mythology, but actually that's not the case. It was a armed forces of the Federated Commonwealth officer, Galen Fox, who called it the Loki because he said its weapons configurations were completely mad. It just made no sense, and it just had so many. And the name Loki stuck until later on the Inner Sphere learned that the clan name for the mech was actually Loki. I'm sorry, Hellbringer. So yeah, that's where the Loki name comes from. Kind of interesting. It stuck around for quite some time. through the initial waves of the clan invasion, but eventually the Hellbringer fell out of favor because it was so fragile, and also because a large part of its inspiration was an intersphere mech. So it slowly started to fall out of favor, particularly during the wars of reading out in clan space, and eventually it was largely replaced by the Cauldron Born, aka the Ebon Jaguar. I want to get right up here on this corner. I think they're going to come around and I'll get some good shots right here. Wide arms. There were a couple of notable... Hello. Take that. There were a couple of notable Loki pilots. Probably the most notable is Star Commander Joanna. She piloted a... there they are. I knew they'd come around eventually. Friggin' arms again. She piloted a Loki during the battle for Twycross. Of course, that didn't go real well for her. If I can line this shot up. I didn't want to shoot my friend there. She actually got buried, essentially, in a canyon, along with a lot of the Falcon Guards by Kai Allard Lau. And, of course, we know the Falcons went on to lose the Battle of Twycross. Star Commander Joanna did survive that, though, but her Loki was destroyed. Just want to pop these guys as they come around this corner here. And you can see the playstyle of this thing. I don't push it real hard because the heat... Oh, that's bad. We might need to reposition here. And I just kind of like sit out here and take shots with ERPPCs and open mechs up like that. And then once they're hurt, that's when you can go in. Just because the heat efficiency on this thing doesn't really support brawling. But with the PPCs and the heavy medium lasers together, you can open some pretty big holes in mechs, and I've got low signal, so I need to move. Get to a spot again where I can just sit out here and wear people down with these weapons. Right in the back. Take that. Last bit of history. Another notable pilot was actually Brian Cameron. Those Wolf's Dragoons. There we go. Let's try to line this shot up. He piloted a... Come on. Anyway. He piloted a Hellbringer during the Dragoon Civil War. He actually used it to great effect, basically as an RTO mech for Jamie Wolf, which kind of makes sense considering this little rat. The electronics package that the Hellbringer has. I saw that I was being tagged, and he was standing behind me probably for 5 minutes. That's what I get for running my mouth and not paying attention. This is 5-6. We're gonna have to start paying attention. Try to link up with this guy over here. Ooh, that's bad. They're looking at us and he's falling towards me, so maybe if I circle around the back. This is awkward. Yeah, I should just went around the back. There we go. Maybe I can finish this guy off. Or not. We're gonna get swamped. I'd like to take this guy down with me.
Center torso critical damage.
Oh, that ridge got me right there. And didn't get him. Hey, we still got 1 kill, 3 assists, 500 and some damage. Might get a little bit more in the assist category as this plays out. We just kind of ran out of friends there. We were sitting there popping people pretty good as they were pushing through, but then we ran out of friends. We'll see if these guys can maybe pull it back and get us a win. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. 7-8 coming back. They got a lot of beat up mechs, so maybe. It's kind of an interesting build. 2 flamers and 3 SRM6s.
New target
well, 8 all. Trebuchet's banged up. That looked like a Blackhawk. It's all banged up going by. That Marauder 2C is beat up as well. Get him. Right in the back. 10-8, 11-8. Yeah, I think we're going to get a win out of this after all. So you can see it's not really a flashy playstyle. We kind of lean on the fact that It's got dual ER PPCs and ECM, and you just sit on the outskirts. And if you can, provide ECM coverage for your assaults. If not, sit out there and just wail on the people that are trying to push into them. And eventually, you will find that you can have a pretty positive effect on the game, unless you get raffle stomped by 4 mechs like we did there because we weren't keeping up with the rotation. But still, no, if you look at the scores, we did pretty well. I think we had a decent contribution to the game. So we'll boot it up, try it again, and see what we can do.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
This is Clan Command. Get to the target and capture it. Cut down any enemies that get in the way.
Alright, I like Tourmaline Desert. We got longer sight lines here. I'm going to try to pay a little bit more attention to where my allies are this game, rather than run my big motor mouth. I think we'll do well here, particularly if we can get some nice long sight lines without getting drilled in return. I didn't think that would hit, but it was worth a shot. Now, unfortunately, it's domination, so it may not go according to plan. What I'm hoping is that they'll kind of push towards the circle, which will allow us to stand off kind of in a place like this and get shots like this. Obviously, not this long. We would like them to move up a little more, and it'd also be nice if I could hit what I was shooting at. I'm not sure I want to stay back there because I feel like we're a little bit too exposed. The problem is once you kind of move up here, there's not a lot of places to go where you're not in the max effective range of a lot of other weapon systems. I'm worried about them coming out right there. Ding!
Target spotted.
That's what was going on. I was wondering why I couldn't move freely.
New target acquired.
Target spotted.
Whole map, and he wants to step on top of me. See, there they come through that gap right there. And this would be a nice if I could get this Marauder off me. Ow. Got him.
Target spotted.
New
I'd like to
target
shoot down this
acquired.
corridor right here, but I need a little room to move back and forth and work these PPCs like that. Unfortunately, this Marauder has decided, even with his LRMs and a whole map, he needs to park right here beside me. I really like your paint job, dude. That's effective camo. Go use it somewhere else, please.
Acquired.
India.
That guy's jumping down. I was a little bit concerned that a PPC might... Oh, hello. Might have tagged my friends, and oh, wow. They are pushing through here.
Target spotted.
Just use one PPC there.
Acquired. Artillery strike.
Ah! I thought I could just get away with that.
Target destroyed.
Target spotted.
Pushing those guys back. There's another one.
Heat level critical.
Use our coolant flush. Look out, Mr. Marauder. What we need to do is push up here and finish these guys in the bowl while those other assault mechs are way off over there to the right.
Destroyed.
Come on, pig. Get up the hill.
Artillery strike online.
Yeah, see, there's more mechs in here. I hate trying to cross over this. It's so awkward right here in this spot.
Need assistance.
I'd like to get up
Target
right.
acquired.
Yep. Take that. See, I want to be right on the other side of this thing, but I don't. Yeah, it's not going to let me.
Target spotted.
I don't want to go all the way over into the bowl because you see, I don't have any friends. That light mech's going to ruin this.
Target acquired.
Oh, I could eat this Marauder alive, but I'm going to have to move because, yeah, that butthead's going to come over here with his flamer and start circling me, and I don't have any friends now.
Heat level critical.
Now other people are shooting LRMs at me. We'll cool off a minute. Okay, some people are starting to move up. Maybe I can go back, see where that Marauder's at. See, it's so awkward. I want to get up right here, but I can't. Okay, we do have one friend though moving in. So we'll go up and risk it again. Toss rifle. Ah, awkward. Up mule.
Heavy Gauss.
Oh, come on.
Blood ass.
New target acquired.
Heavy Gauss blood asp. I highly doubt it. But I see the blood asp. Nah, stupid Crystal Ridge. I'd like to go get that guy, but I don't know if this guy will come with me. That's another Hellbringer. We just popped him. I like my odds at this range. Now,
New target
yeah.
acquired.
Watch out, bud. I was kind of hoping he would overcommit and chase us. Arms are too low to get PVC shots there, but once I get up here, of course he's going to go back into cover.
Left.
I'm not...
Look left.
Think that.
Some more.
I'm not convinced that chasing him out into that open area is going to... I'll get off. Chasing him out into the open there is going to be good.
Shoot the arm off of that damn missile.
Left torso.
Go away.
Damage.
Oh my gosh. I thought I had him right there. I thought if I could get a good burn of the lasers in the PPCs, I would get him right there. I took a lot of damage doing that. This is silly. Can we get him? Shit. I didn't get any kills, but 656 points of damage. I probably should have just played that a little cooler. Oh, it's like 4 to 10, yeah.
Critical.
Never mind. I don't think we were going to pull that out regardless.
Weapon poison detected.
I thought when he disappeared to the right with that one assault mech we had was going to push into him, and so we would get to shoot him in the back, and he was looking right at us when I came around the corner. Yeah.
Machine gun.
That went about as well as you can expect. Yeah, at least he got the kill on that other Hellbringer.
Machine gun destroyed.
But still, 656 points of damage. I didn't have to work particularly hard for it, as you saw there. I think it's definitely effective in the quick play queue. Ouch. You just, yeah.
Good try.
You got to play it a little bit better than I did there, maybe. And I suspect our team as a whole didn't do real well. We'll see. Take a look at the scores here. 656 points of damage, 4 assists. And let's see here. Yeah. I mean, our Mad Cat did okay, so did our Marauder too, and then, kind of a mixed bag. It's just unfortunate that turned out the way it is. We'll give it one more try and see what we can get done.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
This is Clan Command. Get to the target and capture it. Cut down any enemies that get in the way.
Alright, HPG manifold. So we're not going to get the long sight lines that we like to let the ERPPCs do their work. But we do have ECM, so maybe we can get some unexpected angles on our enemy and use that to get our damage done in this game. We'll see how it plays out. HPG is kind of an interesting map for me personally. Everybody's experience is obviously going to be different, but me, I tend to either have real great games on this map or I overextend just a little bit and have really terrible games. We'll see which this one turns out to be. I'm thinking I do like to push the right real hard.
Target acquired.
But it doesn't look like our team's going to do it. Plus we started on the left spawn. But it's nice because we have a fairly fast heavy mech and ECM to help us get away in case our opponents are thinking about doing the same thing. It doesn't look like they're going to push the right side. It looks like they're going to go up, so it's all well and good. As long as we actually take the top. It's one valid way of going about it. Let's see what's going on up here. Up. Oh, they got it. And what have we got here? A Thunderbolt. Looks on his own. He's got 2 guys on him. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and drop and help them finish this guy off. It'll be worth it to have a heavy mech out of the game. Yeah, turn.
Target
Torso didn't
destroyed.
track fast enough back to the right. It was a little bit awkward. I didn't realize I was going to drop that close to him. I think we were actually walking into each other for a few seconds there, which is what made it
Target acquired.
herky-jerky. So now, hopefully, we can come up, turn a left, and come out
Artillery
behind
strike
them.
online. New target acquired.
We've already pushed through.
There they are. And we just got to be careful because this is a nice position, but the PPCs are in the arms, so they're low slung. We have to expose a lot of the mech to get shots in. We did get one
New
PPC to
target
connect there.
acquired.
Nice laser burn on that second guy. Oh, look out, my dude. No, 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 no. Ah, hit
Artillery
the wall.
strike online. New target acquired.
I think we just play it cool for a minute. I'm thinking about pushing up to the ramp here and trying to get those angles that we talked about and use the ECM so that hopefully they don't see me peeking. My ECM is being canceled, so I gotta be careful. Ow, what the hell was that? Was that you? No, it's that
New
guy.
target
And my feet are
acquired.
stuck.
Target spotted.
What am I stuck on? Come on. What in the world? There we go. Got it. That was awkward. No. I'm not going to go back there. Oh, look out. As soon as I go back there, they'll all lose interest, go somewhere else, and then I'll lose a one-on-one fight with a much bigger mech. We'll just stay here and work the PPCs on these guys here. ECM's not being canceled anymore. Alright.
New
Yep.
target acquired.
It's gonna say we got to be careful about peeking there, and it looks like this guy is coming through now. He's very beat up, so will he push or will he try to slide out? I think he's gonna try to slide out because I don't see him there. I don't think he's fast enough. He could have made it through that opening. So let's go down here and see if he comes out right about. Yep, right in the back.
Target
Good night.
destroyed.
Target spotted.
New target acquired.
Push on up. We got people all over the place. Oops. Let's see if we can finish this Griffin. Oh, come on.
Heat level
Oh!
critical.
How did that not kill him? Granted, the SRMs were a terrible shot, but the lasers should have killed him. Where you go? Don't kill him. He's mine.
Target
There we go.
destroyed. New target acquired.
And, oh, we're gonna bushwhack this Warhammer when he comes through here. Alright. He's back. Oh, that's why. So we'll just get him on the other side. Go to heat vision so we can see better. Or as adults like to call it, thermals. Oh, that was nice.
Target
There we go.
destroyed. Heat level critical.
So you can see if you just pick your
Target
engagements,
spotted.
and if you can hold that laser burn on target and combine it with your PPCs, it can actually be pretty effective. It hits fairly hard. You just got to be careful because, as you saw there, you can't really afford to brawl this way. It starts to get warm pretty quickly. So you have to use the ECM, use positioning, be aware of what's going around you.
Target spotted.
You have to work at it to make this mech work, whereas other mechs, you know, you can just kind of face roll and they'll do all right. This isn't going to be one of those builds. Hello. And boom.
Target destroyed.
And just like that, 4 kills and it's 11-5. 12-5. That's game.
We are victorious in battle.
Thank you for the win.
Shit, don't thank me. I just kind of mopped up. Let's see how we did. I got a feeling the damage is going to be pretty low. Look at that. 4 kills, 5 assists, but only 384 damage. So big damage in the first 2 games, not a lot of kills. Decent amount of kills and assists, low damage this game. This is kind of the way it works. But I think you can see how the mech is supposed to work. Like, use your positioning, use your situational awareness, use your ECM, and then unleash the big guns when you got a nice shot. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was certainly a fun game. So So there you have it, folks. 3 games in a Hellbringer Prime that's actually pretty close to stock. Again, we had to ditch a lot of things. You know, there are no A-pods in this game and all that, so we had to make a lot of sacrifices to get something that looked like a stock Hellbringer. But I was actually pleasantly surprised. I got to be honest with you, when I was building it the first time, when I kind of set this challenge for myself, let's see if I can make this work, I did not have a lot of faith that this was going to work out. And the first couple of tries I did it in terms of both builds and skill trees and things like that, it was a little bit challenging. But when I finally settled on this and got it to work, I was actually pretty pleased with it. And I found that I can actually do fairly consistently with it in the quick play queue. Now, you're not going to rock any world records or anything like that unless people play foolishly and give you opportunities. But yeah, just for having fun and kicking around in something that feels like you kind of want a Hellbringer to feel like, I find that this is a lot of fun. And, you know, it's a good looking mech too. You can see it here in its Jade Falcon paint scheme, which I forgot to show you guys in the opening. It looks pretty awesome. And I've added a few decals here and there to it. But yeah, I actually do enjoy it. Now, if you're interested in a Hellbringer and you don't want to run something like I do, something that's inspired by the source material, which is perfectly fine. That's just my preference. If that's what you're interested in, you just want a Hellbringer to perform really well, I would recommend you take a look at Blackhawk SC's channel, because he is actually very fond of this mech. He's got several videos where he runs this, and he's got a great laser vomit build that's made out of a couple of different modules, and he actually recommends it as a fantastic first mech to MechWarrior Online. And yeah, it's a great mech in that configuration. In this one, it's just fun. It makes me feel good, and I enjoy playing it. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. So with that, folks, I'm going to call the video a wrap. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. And we'll see you guys on the next one.